It went like this. It was like, a Santa banana, who's calling? Please leave your name and number after the beep, beep, beep.
Now here in the cut, we challenge our guests to finish a tub of ice cream before the end of the conversation. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. We're here on the pool table in the cut with the King, Jem. Thanks for joining us.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me.
No, it's honestly a pleasure. For anyone who's listening to us, watching us for the first time, we challenge our guests to finish a tub of ice cream before the end of the conversation. If you want to listen to the radio show live, you can listen every Wednesday at 11 a.m. That's CJRU 1280 a.m. in Toronto. All episodes in the cut are at agerealsmiley.com. Now, this is I would say a legendary flavor because this is the first flavor that we kind of started this whole new studio with and is one of my favorites. Talk about the flavor you chose. And sorry, before we go there, shout out to Eva's. Eva's is our ice cream sponsor for season 3. Eva's always holding down. So shout out to Eva's Chimneys. All my Torontonians, get your life right. Holler at Eva's. But talk about the flavor that you chose.
So I'm eating the vegan apple pie. And I must say, it's quite exquisite. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to eat any ice cream today because, my stomach is, it's on its own wavelength today. But
twerking.
The first bite, though, I was like, oh, you know what my Uncle Bruce, my late Uncle Bruce used to say? It's Moorish.
Moorish, okay.
Moorish, yeah. So like, say mom is cooking or something. And he comes in the kitchen. He'll be like, "Oh, can I taste it?" She'll be like, "Okay." So he'll taste it. And he'll be like, And she's like, "What? How does it taste?" And he says, "Moorish." And then he goes and he takes another spoon.
Yeah, the double up.
Moorish again and again. And then before you know it, he's kicked out of the kitchen.
Oh my God. That's me. I would say that my thing like that I'm with is corn porridge. Oh. Anytime there's corn porridge around, you gotta
like cornmeal porridge?
Not cornmeal, actual corn porridge.
What is that?
Yeah. So like
the
corn that comes in a can actually goes in
creamed corn.
Yeah, kind of like cream corn goes into the porridge, and it's more like it's sweeter and thicker.
Is that a Jamaica thing?
Yeah, it's a Jamaica thing.
Okay.
Yeah, but corn porridge. Anyone who knows about corn porridge.
Okay.
Yeah, that's my thing that will get me like that. I want to start all the way back because we're going to lead all the way up into the project.
Yeah.
All the way up to Afronaut. But let's start at the beginning with the red piano. See what I did here?
Remember.
So let's start with the red piano. What does the red piano mean to this whole career that we got going on right here?
Wow, I can't believe you remembered.
Of course.
So when I was, I think 2 or maybe even 1, I can't remember how old I was. My parents bought me this red toy piano, but like it was fully functional. It had it's like maybe about like this size and like that long, like that high. It has about like, I don't know, like maybe like 20 keys on it.
Oh, so you can play. Yeah. Okay.
So you can actually play it. And I was obsessed with that thing. Like I loved it so much. I wouldn't let it out of my sight. So they were just sort of like, I think there's something here.
Okay.
And at the time, my family actually, a few years later, moved up to Moose Factory, which is actually like mainly like indigenous town. And they actually shipped up the piano that my grandmother bought for my mom and my uncles. So they put it on the train because like no roads go there.
Yeah.
So if you have a car, like you buy a used car somewhere or something, it needs to go on the train. Everything needs to go on the train because roads don't go there.
That's
like the last town that is reachable by car is Cochrane.
And that's deep too.
Yeah. Like Cochrane is down here.
Yeah.
Like Moose Factory is like up there, like in James Bay.
That's crazy.
Yeah, my parents did a lot of work with indigenous communities when I was young.
This is probably the wrong way to take it, but when I think of these communities that are so far, I think of the show Catfish. And
I haven't seen it. I actually haven't seen it. I heard it's lit though.
No, Catfish is one of my favorite shows. Like,
Yeah?
right. I'll be sending you clips. My favorite shows of all time.
Okay.
And these are the communities of people who will get catfish are usually from. Like the American version of these communities. So that's what I always think of when you think of it so far away. Someone's like, yeah, I live in the middle of nowhere. And, you know.
That's so interesting.
So that's obviously not where you were getting at, but that's what I think of when you talk about these communities that are so far away. So you're saying like what, 1 or 2 you started playing? And I guess like where did you start playing in front of people? Obviously in front of fam, little stuff like that. But like when did you start playing in front of people, and like how old were you when you started doing that?
I must have still been like maybe like 4, 5, 6, something like that.
Pre-K.
Yeah, no. And they had made like I had to play for my parents for like worship services like at home. Because, you know, my parents were like very, very religious, right?
With the home worship.
Yeah. Home worship, Vespers.
Yo.
Worship.
So, that took me back. Yeah. The home worship. So the home worship. And then also you played in church. Yeah.
Then it was like I had to play for church. I have like the only like visual memory that I have of playing for church was in Elliott Lake.
Okay.
We went to a church in, I think it was like Deep River or something like that, about like 45 minutes outside of Elliott Lake. And I can remember playing at that church.
So you were going from like other churches and playing there, like if they had like events and stuff like that?
Yeah. I mean, like that was like our home church when we lived in Elliott Lake.
Yeah.
But once I was back in Ottawa and I started to like sing with the choir and things like that, we would actually do things where we would tour like from church to church. And like church members would put us up, like they'd billet us. And then the next day we were responsible for the whole church service. So the choir would sing, I would do a special music. I would play for the choir if we weren't using track. Because they used a combination of track and me. So yeah. My whole life.
And you were you really singing at that point? Like I guess singing with other people, but were you singing like, did you have like solos? Were you leading the service kind of?
No, I was never a solo person. I never got solos. I never asked for solos. My family, like, and my church community never saw me like as a singer. It was just like in the choir. And then when I went to York University, Karen Burke, who is the director of the York University Gospel Choir, but also the Toronto Mass Choir, incredible human, like changed my life, to be honest with you. She gave me I'm pretty sure she gave me my first solo. And I couldn't believe it. I was so shook.
So you didn't get a solo till university. So up until then, you were like, I guess, singing with people. But well, I'm gonna ask you, but I know the answer to this. Let's get right to it. Yeah. The answering machine.
Oh my gosh.
The writing you were doing on the answering machine, like because someone who comes from the church as well, like it's kind of a rare occurrence in a sense to have a keyboard player who's really talented that you don't put a mic in front of all the time. Usually it's like you could play keys, let's put you right on the stage, face everyone. So it doesn't always happen where you're playing the keys so well and they don't want to give you a mic to lead as well. But you were already writing and doing all that back then.
I was. And it's funny because I remember wanting to sing and I remember asking like one of my aunts for vocal lessons actually, because she's an incredible singer. Like she sings like in an opera sort of style. And then her sisters, there are, how many of them? Like the main, like the core group is London Trio. Okay. So it's 3 sisters, but it's London Trio Plus. So my uncle also sings. Okay. The daughters of one of the sisters also sings. Two of them. Yeah. My cousin sings. This person sings. That person sings. So you can have anywhere from like 3 to like 10.
Yeah. At any time. Yeah.
Sort of thing. But yeah, I never sang.
And the answering machines.
Yes. So the answering machine. I was hoping I'd glaze over that.
We're not
we're not letting that go.
I want to get a rendition. Like now that we're here in person, I want to get like a answering machine rendition. Okay. But listen, this answering machine rendition is going to be like the thumbnail promo for this podcast.
Okay, perfect. So it went like this. It was like, a Santa banana, who's calling? Please leave your name and number after the beep, beep, beep. And then my brother was like, thank you for calling the Roberts residence. Name and number after the beep. And it's funny because it started as like just us saying, Asana Banana because it's from, I think it's from like Aristocats or something like that. There's like an Italian guy and he's like, Asana Banana or something. And it was just like a catchphrase that we had.
Yeah.
So it just started as us like saying it. But like me and my brother just like, we would like write songs when we were little, like to poke fun at people or like make light of like little situations.
Bring bullying back. Are you hearing this right now? Creative genius Jeb was talking about making songs to make fun of people. I've been saying it forever. Bring bullying back.
No, it's not. But see, that's the thing. It was always like, you know, just sung for our parents only. They were our only audience. Like we would never like sing these or like share those.
Did you ever get like feedback on your answer machine? Because I feel like if I call an answer machine, that's saying I would love it. Like if I call an answer machine and I got that answer machine, I'd be like, yo, don't answer next time. I'm gonna call again. So people loved it for sure.
They did really love it, and that makes me think maybe I should change my answering machine to like a song.
You gotta bring it back.
I have a pretty good answering machine right now.
What is it now?
So my late auntie Jackie, who is another person that was like big in my life and changed my life. She had this saying that said, "Choose to have a wonderful day."
Jeez, I like that.
Which is like so deep. So my answering machine is like, "Thank you for calling Jam," or like whatever. And then I say, "And remember, choose to have a wonderful day."
Oh, I don't know if you could change that. Maybe you could add something to that, but choose that wonderful day is really good. Yeah, I like that a lot. Yeah, I miss the days where answering machines were really popping. I feel like there was especially like there's a meme going around where it's the answer machine and someone pretended to answer the phone and it's like, hello?
Oh man,
just kidding, you ain't get me.
That's like viral on TikTok right now.
Oh my god, yeah, I see a lot of videos like that.
So funny. I hated it though because I would have a full conversation. And you know what else is viral on TikTok right now? I just have to mention it. Gospel music.
Really?
Did you never see that? The trend right now is the "Yes, Lord, for the rest of our day." Yo, I grew up playing that song.
That's a track,
we lift our hands in the sanctuary.
Yo.
Ooh, we lift our hands
That's a
to
huge
give
track.
you the like.
That's on like if there's like a gospel top 10 from that era, that has to be in it. That was like for sure. Like
creme de la creme of gospel.
that was there's few and Melodies from Heaven by Kirk Franklin. Is
Oh
out
my
there too.
goodness.
Like
Woo.
those were the group of songs where I was trying to get the aux first. I was like, okay, we're gonna play gospel music.
Yeah.
Let me get the aux and play these first.
Yeah.
Just so I know they get played.
Yeah.
You know, that we left our hand. Oh
Yo.
man, it brought me back. It brought me back.
My friend Christy actually sent me that TikTok this morning, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm so glad that like things are. I don't know, gospel music is like getting the attention it deserves.
It is.
You know,
And like
it's important.
you know, and it's coming back to the point where I feel like especially contemporary gospel makes it so it can kind of blend in with other music as well.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like you don't even always because
You don't even always know.
I might tell a story to Chris before, but I had the aux one time at a track meet. I've always been the aux god. Like, I'm comfortable.
Ox God.
I'm comfortable with the cable, and I was just playing music on shuffle.
Yeah.
And I went to the washroom,
That's
came back.
brave.
And I'm confident. I can take
That
it anywhere
is
you need to go.
brave, because you might get a Nirvana.
No, listen.
If I'm on shuffle, you can get anything.
But that's good. You know, like everyone can get their mix. Not everyone's always hip hop and dance hall. You know,
yeah,
get their fix.
yeah, you get.
But
your
you know, I know you know the song because I took it left.
Yeah.
Now Behold the Lamb by Kirk Franklin came on.
Ooh.
That's one of my favorite Kirk Franklin songs. But the track meet was not ready for that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So when I came back, I was like, Adriel. So, you know, sometimes it can mix.
Shuffle can be reckless.
It can be absolutely reckless. I want to talk about you actually starting to sing at York because I feel like, you know, like my first time seeing you perform was as like a lead performer. I've never seen you perform as a background, you know, just playing keys. So I've only seen you, you know, really get into your bag. When you first started getting your solos at York, like what was that like? How did you feel like, okay, finally it's my time? Like how did you feel at that time?
I felt like a fraud. I was like, in my mind, I was like, are you sure? Like I didn't say it out loud, but I was like, me? Like really? Like it took all of this energy to like get up in front of the class and sing because I was scared.
Damn.
But then to actually get the solo, I was like shaking. I can actually, I was literally shaking. I remember that first solo that I sang. My hand was like going like this. Literally.
That's crazy. That's. I guess like you got to start somewhere, but seeing you perform, it's crazy to even think about like the image of that now. And then obviously you got into like kind of playing with bands, and you had that first audition. Talk about that, because that was the start of like you know, everything that you've done after that.
So yeah, Karen just always created a very welcoming environment for people to audition. So they would just like be singing the gospel, the choir. So it's like a class, by the way, of like 120 people.
Wow.
So we're like all singing or whatever, and then she'd be like, solo time, or whoever wants to get up, and then we'd just all get in line, and like everyone would clap for you. You know, everyone was like very supportive. You know, so it was really special. And I also sang in a cappella choir at work called Weeby, who's still going. And actually, I think did you ever watch that movie Pitch Perfect?
Yeah.
So the ICCAs are a real competition.
Oh, so
I don't know if like a lot of people know that, but it's like real.
I did not know that.
They went, and I'm pretty sure like one year they got bronze, like a few years ago. Like they're really good.
That's pretty lit.
They're super good. So anyway, I also auditioned for things in that choir, and I remember the song. It was "Happy Ending" by Mika. I think that was my first solo.
That's a throwback. Damn.
Yeah, that song slaps, eh? Little bit of love.
For your first solo?
Little bit of love. Yeah, that was my first solo.
Damn.
In Weeby.
I wish we could have videos of all of these, like you know, to throw back to all of these back when Vine was a thing. And
yeah,
but yeah, because it's like I'm always interested in the journey, because I think like your career is almost starting anew in a sense. You know what I'm saying? As a lead, as a singer, as a performer. But there's all these things in the background, you know, that as part of like the journey of them growing. It's almost like in sports when there's a player who's like popular in high school, you know, and he's the best in his state or the best wherever. And then once he gets to the league, it's like, no, you're not. You got to start all over again. So it's like, was there like a time or like a point you can point to when you said, okay, I'm doing this for real. If I'm not doing it now, I'm gonna be a solo artist at some point. I know you had your shows. We'll talk about your shows you did on your own. But before you were doing your shows, was there a point where you're like, listen, one day I won't be just doing this. I will be performing. No.
I played in a punk band for like almost 8 years.
Yeah.
The OBGMs. And when I was like in that band, I was like, this is like what I'm gonna do. Like,
so you were stuck in that, yeah.
Well, not even stuck.
Yeah, not stuck, but that's where you wanted to stay.
That was where I wanted to stay. I won't lie. This is gonna be weird to hear me say, but I never really wanted to be a solo artist, to be honest with you. Damn. Like, I feel so comfortable in band settings, or like being the backup singer, or like being the backup keyboardist. But what changed for me, I have a friend named Matthew Fudge. He's an amazing producer. He also works in tech, like music tech as well. So how did we exactly meet? I met a friend, Bryn, through there we go. That's how it was. Okay, so I met a friend, Stephen Lucky, who came to see a show that I did with Zaki Ibrahim. He introduced me to this group of friends that were all like hanging out at Dream House, which is this like popular like recording studio just off of Queen and Spadina. And it's where I did Stuck to My Heart and like OBGMs. We recorded all of our stuff there. But anyway, I did a songwriting camp, met a bunch of people there. Through those people, I met Matt. So one day Matt was like, hey, Jam, let's do a songwriting mission. Let's go to the UK and write for this label.
I know how this goes.
Yeah. Label goes silent. And we're out in London like, oh man, like, what are we going to do? We have all these studios booked and like no one to write with. And Matt's like, oh no, it's going to be fine. Like you and I can just write something. And I'm like, okay, like that can work. But like, we need to like find more people. Or actually, no, he was the one that suggested that I look for people. I was like, I don't know anyone. Check on my story. And one of my friends, Stacy Shopswitz, is in the UK. or maybe it went the other way around and he saw my story. I can't remember. But we realized that one another was in the UK. And also my friend Say Blue, who is like also an amazing artist. All three of them are awesome. So anyway, long story short, we all get in the studio and I write 3 songs, one with Say Blue, Chelsea, one with Stacy, Matt, and Matt, and then one alone. The one with Stacy, Matt, and Matt was Space and Time.
Wow, okay.
And then I realized, I guess, like, what was it? Like maybe, like 3 or 4 months later, that I had a bunch of songs about space. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. Like, these are all like kind of cohesive. So I text Matt and I'm like, hey, Matt, like, can I ask you a question? Like, I've been thinking about something. And he's like, yeah, I've been thinking too. I think that you should release Space and Time and Show Me and some of the, like, I think you should release some Music Gem. And I was like, yeah, I was thinking that. Like, I was listening to this like podcast, not podcast, audiobook called The 4D Musician, 4-dimensional musician. And that was sort of like when I realized, oh, wait, I need to create a story. I need to create a character. People fall in love with a story and people fall in love with a character. And that's like one of the dimensions, right? Story and character. So I was just sort of like, okay, well, I love video games and I love 8-bit. I have these friends called Good Kid. They are an awesome band from Toronto. And they use a lot of like pixel art. And the artist's name is Gabriel Altros. He's like really awesome, like so talented. And then another friend, G or Gargana Piva. So they collaborated together to create like this Afronaut character. I was like, this is what I want to look like. This is the inspo. I'm going like based on things that you've already created to sort of like mash together this art style. Cause G's art style is like more like super like pixelated.
Yeah.
And then Gabriel's is more like sort of like, I would say like I don't know, like sort of like detailed drawing, I guess. Whereas like G's is like sort of like chunky, which I really love. So that was why I used like both of them to create this sort of like detailed, but also like chunky sort of blocky character.
It still has a pixelation in it that like fits the video game idea.
Yeah.
But it's still you can like tell what it is.
Exactly.
I like the idea of like the black the black astronaut. Super fire.
Yeah.
Super fire.
It's so important too because there aren't many.
And what we say about black video game characters is like, I hadn't thought about that in so long until you said it, of like there's so few black video game characters.
Yeah.
And it's like there's more animal video game characters than there are black video game characters. It's it's like you get white, an animal, and then maybe a woman, and then maybe a black person as a character. So it's like you're filling a huge void.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I thought that was huge. What was I guess idea because we're gonna talk about the album and some of these songs and love languages and a lot of stories you have on these songs because you're talking a lot of stuff. But before you had like the full project, was there an idea of like what the Afronaut will kind of represent, anything like that?
No, it literally, I swear to you, came to me all at one time. I remember exactly when it happened. I was like in bed listening to the audiobook.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, well, space. I love video games. Blah, 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 blah. Because, you know, I'm a Nintendo head.
Yes.
Like, I love Nintendo.
Yeah.
Like, that was a huge escape for me, like, when I was growing up. Because, you know, and it's crazy. I actually ran into one of my friends from high school, Rudy. And he was, like, one of the few people that was, like, actually, like, nice to me.
Yeah.
In high school. And it just sort of, like, I don't know. It just sort of, like, took me back to that time when I was just sort of, like, trying to like forget about the fact that I had to go to school and like getting lost in Mario, and yeah, it was really special. Game Boy, I had so many Game Boys.
Yo, I'm playing the Game Boy Advance SP.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That one. Oh, that one is a good one.
That one hit you.
That was a good one. That when they finally backlit the screen.
Yeah.
I can't believe we were playing video games with
no
backlit screen. And then remember when you had to buy that little guy that like plugs into the top of it?
The book light?
The
ghetto. You know what made it worse is that the first Game Boy, the Game Boy Color,
Yeah.
with no backlight, that's fine. We're just getting started.
Yeah.
Y'all don't know yet.
Yeah.
The fact that they did Game Boy Advance still with no color.
Still.
And then we had to get the Game Boy Advance SP with the thing closing.
Yeah.
Oh my
the
God.
laptop.
I tried to buy one actually a couple of years ago from the flea market.
Uh-huh.
But they didn't have a lot of games.
Mm.
So I just did the emulator on my phone and I was
It's all about the emulators, but I miss I wish I still had it. I remember I sold my Game Boy to a friend and I bet he still has it. Like I wish I kept it.
Yeah, you gotta because I had one, but I couldn't find a charger for it. So I just said, let me just buy a whole new one,
Don't kill me. Remember when they switched the charger from batteries? The batteries.
I hated the batteries. I hated the
batteries.
The charger, because the charger had a long thing, and you could just lay in your bed and just.
That's true.
Yeah, that and the PSP.
Yo,
I know a lot of young people are too young to even know what we're talking about right now. But that was the real prime. This Nintendo Switch business.
Yeah,
Switch is great.
It is.
But the Game Boy Advance SP, PSP days.
Yeah, those were good days. But yo, I love my Switch.
Oh.
I love it so much. Do you have one?
No, I don't have a Switch. I almost bought one during the pandemic, and I was like, let me relax.
Yeah, no, it was a pandemic purchase for me as well.
I regret not getting it now because everyone tells me how great it is.
It's so great. And it's funny because you couldn't find one during the pandemic. It was impossible. And shout out to my pal Dan, who produced Tell Me You Love Me, and is just I love this guy. He's so great. So he works at a store in Newfoundland.
Jeez.
And that was where they had them. So what he did was he got it in Newfoundland and then shipped it to me.
A1. He's a go.
Stand-up guy.
He's a go.
Stand-up guy.
It was you couldn't get Nintendo Switches and toilet paper. Those were the main two things. So it's
the toilet paper had me. I was like, "What is wrong with people? That's so ridiculous."
I'm like, you guys are always clean.
I always have a stash.
A stash.
I always have at least two big ones, going
just to have.
Yeah,
no, you need to because
I'll never run out of toilet paper.
Yeah, no, that's the worst thing you could run out of. Yeah. for being honest.
Though I did get one of those bidet attachments for my toilet.
What?
It's nice. So I actually barely use toilet paper anymore.
Okay, bougie Jam, my bad.
It's not even bougie, bro. It's not that expensive.
Let's talk to you different. I didn't know who we were talking to. Okay, my bad. My bad.
I mean, when you have IBS,
no, important.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Tell Me You Love Me. I know that love languages are important to you, and that song's kind of about you not getting that. Before we get to the actual song, how do you usually express that in a relationship where you're talking to someone new? Because me personally, I don't ask those questions. I'm not an ask question person. If I meet someone new and we're talking, I'm not doing 21 questions with you. If you ask me, I'll ask you back, but I'm not being this is my love language, this is that. I more kind of let things flow and see how you behave. So are you the type of person who's just so you know, words of affirmation, quality time, what's your style?
You asking me this question is making me reconsider how I approach relationships.
Why?
So no, seriously, I think that I'm gonna start asking for what I need sooner.
You have to.
Because I don't. I usually don't. I usually wait for people to sort of pick up on those things.
Go with the flow type?
Go with the flow, and then when it happens, I'll be oh, I like when you say this thing to me, or I like it when you do this, or it makes me feel appreciated when you do that. For sure I'll say something like that, but I'm never straight up been hey, what's your love language? So I think that I'm gonna lead with that a little sooner going forward.
I think there's a big plus to that. Me personally, my issue is that I feel this is gonna sound crazy, but I promise I'm being honest. I feel a lot of times women are trying to impress me in a sense and be their best self. And so I don't want to deter that. Whatever you think your best self is, let me see what that looks like.
Yeah.
And then we can go from there.
Okay.
And sometimes I'm just I'd rather you not try to impress me, just half makeup, whatever you do, and I'll decide, okay, I rock with it, I rock with this. But I feel with the love language thing, if I say all of a sudden it's oh, I like words of affirmation, you might be just trying to gas my head extra than you wouldn't do anyways. You know?
Mm.
So if that's already your style, then we can rock with that. But I don't want you to go overboard being like, oh, you look so this and this. And it's like, you're right, I look phenomenal, but you probably wouldn't say that if I didn't tell you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what I'm avoiding in a sense.
Interesting.
Sense?
That does make a lot of sense.
Okay, I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy I'm not sounding crazy. Because
no, you're not. Like, I just wish more people in life like had these sorts of conversations. I feel like relationships would be way healthier if we weren't afraid to say what we need. For sure.
And it's like, on Tell Me Love Me talking about not getting the words of affirmation that you need. I think that's like, of all the love languages, that is the one that bothers me the most because words are so easy. Yeah. Like, it's the same way when you're free. And when you get in a fight with someone, you go, oh, you're just saying that. It's just words. The same way I can just say that and you can maybe not believe me is the same way I could say it. It makes you feel good. You know? So to me, I'm like, that's the easiest one to just give someone, like the words.
For sure.
Yeah.
I agree.
So talk about the time when you weren't getting those words and kind of how you reacted to that.
It's so funny because like this person is like still like a very close friend. Well, or like what I say, I don't even know. We'll say a big person like in my life. In
your life, because like important in your life.
I don't know what exactly to call them.
Okay.
But anyway, essentially we had a conversation and the conversation went something like, oh, I'm so glad that this is so chill and casual and there are no feelings involved. And I was just sort of like, like hold the phone. Like, I don't know how to feel about that. So some time went by. It was around Christmas. Okay. So they went back to Europe and I went back to Ottawa. And it just sort of, had some time to like think about it. Then we got back together. And I was like, yo, like what you said the last time I saw you, like, I didn't like that. And then right away, it was, oh, no, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't mean it. I was trying to like protect myself. But like, obviously this isn't the case. And we're like kind of like walking on thin ice here. So I don't know what we should really do. So we sort of like took a step back, sort of thing. And it didn't really work, because like we enjoy spending time together.
You're already there.
Yeah, we're already there. So we just sort of like, I guess, set some sort of boundaries because, this person is like a good friend as well, like as like previously like was a lover.
Yeah.
So we were just sort of like, okay, we're gonna keep it chill. And like they know the song is about them. Like I played it like one day. We were like driving. And then looks at me. Is this song about me? And I was just like deer in headlights. I couldn't even fake it. I was like, yes, it is. And he's just like, oh, that's beautiful.
Oh, that's nice.
That's so nice that like you wrote a song about me. He like teased me the other day though. He's like, go write a song about it. Like he's so funny. Like
this is why you don't tell people.
It's fine. Yo. Like he didn't mean it anyway. He's harmless.
I like that there's no beef about the song being about them because that could definitely happen. And I have one bone to pick because this is one of my pet peeves.
Yeah.
The problem when the person says, I'm happy this is so casual and there are no feelings. That's never like knock on wood, that's never happened to me. So thank God. And I hope I never said to someone, but like for someone to say that when there's clearly feelings is like, go die.
Not you saying go die.
Nah, for real. Like, and there's clearly feelings, like, and someone goes, oh my, I love that there's no feelings here. It's like, I'm in love with you, fam.
I was like whoa.
So yeah, like that part I was like very, very annoying, but it happens. That's how the game goes. Now, is there a song from the album that you're excited for people to hear? Like, it might be one song that's already out, but is there a song that you want people that you're like, people hear this first time, it's gonna be lit?
Yeah. That would probably be Blame It on the Universe. I wrote that song when I was 21, maybe? Or 20?
Throwback.
Or 23. I don't know. Some early 20s. I wrote that song. And I always heard it in my head a certain way, but could never deliver it that way because I didn't know the right people. And then I met up with Mike Tompa, who is an incredible producer, and also plays all of the strings, like double bass, cello, violin, viola, all of it.
Serious.
So we teamed up, and the strings, like it's pretty great. I'm really, really proud of it.
Yeah, I'm excited for everyone to hear that one too. I feel like there's even though there's a lot of dance on the project, I feel like it's a lot of instrumentation in a way that you don't associate with dance. Like it's not very digital. Like it's dance, but it's still real instruments, which I is like a good mix. Like again, I'm a real instruments person. Like I love all this trap nonsense. I'm gonna call it nonsense, but all this
nonsense.
all this trap nonsense. But I want to hear some real drums, some real keys.
Yep.
That's what I'm into the most. We should have mentioned this earlier when we were talking about the answering machine and the red piano. But your love for the TTC.
Yes.
Tell us about Young Gem running up and down the bus.
Yeah. So I don't even know where this obsession came from, but I just have always loved transportation, buses, trains, subway, all of that stuff. Like sometimes I'll even just like, I feel like there have been times where I've like taken like a longer way home just to like enjoy the ride sort of thing. But I remember being, I don't know, like 4 years old and like visiting Toronto and like looking up at my mom and being like, I'm going to move to Toronto. Like, I don't like Ottawa because there's no subway. I want to live somewhere where there's a subway. So I decided very young
then
that this is like where I was going to live as soon as I got the chance. And yeah, I visited quite often because I have a lot of family here. But then went to boarding school at 16 in Oshawa. Riding the GO train to the Eaton Center. Oh, that was like my favorite thing. I just loved it. And I was just like getting, like little tastes of the city, and then moved to North York to go to York and was, commuting down to like go downtown. But back then the subway didn't go there. So it was a whole, you bring a Sudoku, you bring a pillow, you bring some snacks. Because you will be on that TTC forever.
I went to Seneca at York.
So yeah,
I know that travel coming from Ajax.
Yeah. But you had the GO bus.
Exactly.
York was good for that bus loop, man. Like I used to go to Kingsway all the time, the boarding school that I went to, because like I was just like, it's just like one bus, Yeah, so like, it's easy to get to the suburbs from York.
When you have that one bus that can take you, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
And that was the thing, like that bus loop to get you to Pickering to Ajax.
Yeah.
It's not bad. But that York bus loop was madness.
It was.
Madness.
It was. Yo, I've seen people like almost get hit by buses like all the time, like running to class or like whatever. And it's so different now because like the buses don't even go in the loop anymore. It's weird. Yeah, no, it's weird. So the station is done now. Have you been up there recently?
No.
Oh, you should see that station. It's beautiful. Looks like a spaceship. Like it's a gorgeous. All the new stations, and you know my obsession.
Yeah.
Like I've been to them all and like walked around. I visited like each one, and the art is so beautiful. Like a lot of them have mezzanine sort of thing, so they have light coming down like into the station, sort of like. I would say that they might have been more inspired by Montreal's metro system for these newer ones. The way that they have the light spilling in and all of that. Like, they're gorgeous stations. All of them.
I feel like I might have to pull up just to see the station.
Yeah, no, you should.
I haven't been since it's been finished.
Yeah, it's a totally different vibe. It's quiet. It feels like a quad now.
Wow.
Because there are no buses going around. Like, you could have I have a picnic there.
Because that loop, like, mind you, was a crazy loop for all the buses, but at least in my day, it felt like if someone was going to argue with their partner, that's where they were going to do it.
No one's going to hear you.
Y'all can only hear each other.
No one is going to hear you. You'll only be able to hear each other in the bus loop with those hundreds of GO Bus and TTC and what else did they have? YRT and Viva and
oh my gosh.
all kind of thing.
I'm just so happy
Zoom.
I'm done with those public transit days when it's just...
Yeah.
Because the go bus is a little more bougie. You know, I felt
Mhm.
that it's not that bad taking the go bus
Mhm.
home, but just knowing that if you miss your bus, you gotta find
It's
something.
over.
You gotta find something to do for the next 90 minutes, and past a certain time,
Mhm.
it's
You're
just
stuck.
done.
You're
So
stuck. $90 Uber.
yeah, so I've been through those times.
How much is an Uber to Ajax?
Probably at least a bill, right? Like gotta be DVP and 401. Yeah, that's just not worth it.
None
you
of
know what
that.
I'm saying? Just hit up one of your old things and hope you can.
Not the things though.
Nah,
And it's
nah.
funny, like my bike is actually locked up outside of my friend's place. I just remembered. Because we went to the Dua Lipa concert
Yeah.
and I was like biking around, like trying to get a bunch of errands done before the concert. So I still need to get that. I love cycling too. That's another big love.
Biking is up there for sure. Like I feel like the Space and Time video, there's some we mix everything in there.
Mm-hmm.
That suit that you're in, tell me you weren't burning up.
No.
No?
The best thing, okay, get this.
Okay.
I wanted to shoot the video when it had just been raining.
Okay.
So I waited for a day where it like rained like most of the day. And then I think it was like around 9 p.m. It stopped, or 10 p.m. or something. And then I called up my friend who actually helped me to shoot the video. He's an awesome guy, Piotr. So I call up Piotr. I'm like, yo, let's go to Young and Dundas Square and shoot this. And the reason I wanted it to just have stopped raining is because then the ground would be reflective and the signs in Young and Dundas Square would be not only like up here, but on the ground.
Oh, that's
sort
cool.
of thing. Yeah. So,
Okay. And it wasn't like too sweaty.
Oh no, it wasn't. It wasn't because it had just rained. It was actually kind of like a little cold. Oh, and also my friend Sablu. They helped me to shout it as well. And her partner David.
Did you get
That's his Porsche.
Noted. Shout out to David.
Shout out to David.
Did you get any weird looks when you were in the subway?
So many people asked to take pictures with me.
I can imagine.
Everyone wanted pictures.
Because I'm like, as weird as it must seem to have someone in an astronaut suit dancing in the subway station, for Toronto, that's not the weirdest thing that could possibly happen.
Anything can, I saw a man walking down the street the other day with a t-shirt that said, "I hate rubber boots," and he was wearing giant rubber boots.
I'm screaming. Only Toronto, like I swear. Like there's this video I saw of someone in a wheelchair banging on a TTC, the streetcar. Yeah. And it's like, this is how you know you're in Toronto. Yeah.
Anything is possible.
That's what we're using it for now.
Yeah.
This is gonna be our last one before we get to our rapid fire questions we ask everyone on the cool table.
Okay.
Now, we talked about your love languages.
Yes.
We talked about your love for buses.
Yes.
What is your process been in terms of this rollout of this project? Like, just in terms of how you're dealing with it, because people are learning about you for the first time as a singer, and some for the first time. So what has it been for you? Like, just how you're dealing with it, preparing. Like, how have you been?
So it's funny because I wanted to put it out sooner, but I was like, you know what? Let me wait, because it's like. I was listening to an interview with Lil Nas X, and he was talking about how his rollout was like planned like a whole year in advance, sort of thing. And the rollout happened like over like a whole year, I'm pretty sure. So I was like, okay, like maybe I need to wait. But there was also a lot of urgency at the same time, because this is my first body of work.
Yeah.
And I've been writing songs since I was like in my early 20s, and I'm like, wait a minute, like I need to put out music. Like I can't keep waiting. It needs to happen. So there was some waiting, but there was also a lot of like urgency. But it's happening. It's coming out. It's exciting. I can't believe it. The drop date is August 5th, which is like not
that's what next week
far away.
Yeah.
The whole album is gonna be out.
Yeah, that's exciting. Like I'm honestly so happy I got to see it, the whole album perform, because how everyone was dancing and the vibe of the album is what like I think people will get when they hear the album. Yeah. Like I always ask people, what is like the soundtrack for your project? Is this some people to drive to, something to get ready to, something to cry to. I feel like this. I feel like
I don't have an answer.
I feel like you have a mix though. I feel like you have a mix on here.
Yeah.
And as well, like if someone just wants to not hear the lyrics at all and just hear the music, they can vibe.
Yeah.
You know? Sure. So I like to have both sides because there are the people, I won't say they're the dumber music fans, but the more simple music fans.
Yeah.
And then
passive listeners.
Exactly. And they can just hear the music and enjoy it. I gave you a heads up for this question. So I'm ready for you to kind of throw someone under the bus, forget someone's name. They say the top 5 people in your life help make you who you are. Now, your top 5 can be a 2 or your top 5 can be a 10. But who are the top 5 people in your life who help you be you?
So I'm just going to say my family, like blanket terms. So my mom used to sit at the piano like with me and force me to practice what I was supposed to. Because I'd sit at the piano for hours, but I'd be playing stuff off the radio. I'd be like doing whatever I wanted to do, you know? But she really sat there with me and was like, you know?
I know the look.
Yeah, the mom look. Oh, God.
Those who can't hear must
Must feel.
Yup.
So, all that. Yeah, mom sat with me at the piano. My grandma was another like huge supporter. My dad, my brother, my aunts and uncles. Like I come from my cousins. I come from like the hugest family. Like it's actually insane. So my grandmother had, oh man, I might mess this up. I think it's 6 sisters. So there's her, there's Aunt Iris, Auntie Joyce, Auntie Madge, Auntie Esther.
Are you Jamaican?
No, Guyanese.
These are the most Caribbean names I've ever heard.
Yes.
Ever heard.
Auntie Rosalind. Did I forget anyone? I would be the worst if I did.
I think you did, but we're just gonna blanket everyone and say
exactly. We're gonna blanket everyone. I come from a family of like matriarchs. You know, those are all my great aunts.
Yes.
And then they have like there's so I can't even start. I love my family so much. They mean a lot to me.
So the family is the top 5. I love hearing people's top 5 because I feel like someone's top 5 gives you a good look into who they are, you know, and how they look at things, their character. So I love hearing family making that top 5. This question, I never know where anyone's going to take this one. So I'm excited, especially to hear what you're going to say. Now, I don't make the rules, but these are the rules. When you get $100 million, apparently, you got to get exotic animal. Mike Tyson with his tiger, Justin Bieber with his monkey, Michael Jackson with his monkey. So when you get to $100 million, what animal are you going to be bringing into your life?
I really like Black Panthers because they are strong and fast, but also like sexy.
Nah,
you know?
Big vibes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I feel like walking around the Black Panther, well, dangerous 1, but 2, like just it looks so good you couldn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like the Black Panther would eclipse you like celebrity wise, like that.
Yeah.
Like, you would have
and I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm the backup.
Literally. They'd be like, coming to the stage, the Black Panther and Jam. No one said that yet, so I feel like you're the first. Yeah, first for Black Panther. That's a good one right there. This last one, you've dropped some gems already. Some things you said earlier, I felt like were perfect for this next question. So we'll see if you have anything left. But we have a segment called Wednesday Wisdom on the show. Motivational quote or saying either you remind yourself of or you remind others of to kind of keep them going, keep yourself going. So is there a quote that you kind of always have in your head that just keeps you going when you're having a rough time, a rough week?
Yeah, it's that quote from Auntie Jackie for sure. Choose to have a wonderful day.
Yeah, choose to have a wonderful day is, I think that's such a good one.
It's so good.
It reminds me of this other quote I saw that says, are you having a bad day or did you have a bad time during your good day? And I'm like,
I love it.
Because I dated someone who was like, this is a bad day. Like something happened, like, oh, if one more thing's happened, I'm done. And I'm like, we're at a concert. Like, I'm about to have a great time.
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely.
And it's like if you think of your day as more in your control, if you're choosing to have a good day, it changes everything. It changes everything. So I like that one a lot.
Yeah. I love it too. And just to circle back to people in my life, I have to shout out my friend and collaborator, Wild Black, Elsa.
Yeah.
She is just like literally the best and has been like a rock like throughout this process. And like helped me with the video as well for Tell Me You Love Me. Like it's still not out yet and it's gonna take some time, but like she sent me a picture today of us like in the what looks like the desert, and I'm just like I was just like, oh my goodness, I'm so excited. And she's good with the outfits and the styling, but then also like, you know, she directed the video as well. So
everything.
Yeah. Everything.
Yeah. Big shout out to her. I got a gift for you before you get out of here.
Oh.
But in terms of making history, you're the first person to say Black Panther. So that's history on the show. You definitely have brought the most cleavage to the cool table we've ever had.
It's so hot outside.
It's so hot inside.
I was like, I cannot wear anything. I cannot wear anything today. I also love this top is actually from Ardeen.
Oh, shout out to Ardeen.
Yo, shout out
the
to
monkeys.
Ardeen. Don't sleep on Ardeen.
Nah,
don't sleep on Ardeen.
No, my friend, she got a shirt from the other day.
Sorry.
No, we're calling Ardeen.
Ardeen.
We're taking
C'est
it.
français, là.
No, we're taking it. We're taking it.
Okay.
So yeah, you made history with the Black Panther.
Yeah.
Most cleavage of season 3 so far.
Yeah.
And you're the first one to get our little goodie bag. So we have tote bags and a t-shirt. So
thank you.
These shirts are actually not out yet. You're the first person other than the family to have one. Cool table t-shirt and a cool table tote bag.
Oh, this is great. I love this.
Yeah. So
thank you so much.
Yeah, you're the first. It's history being made right here.
I love this logo.
Thank you.
So fun. How did you come up with that?
I shout out to my brother. He had the idea of the ice cream to kind of get people comfortable.
Yeah.
But I wanted the idea of the neon because I thought that will stand out no matter where we go.
Yep.
When we first started, we were in a different studio, and I was like, if we have neon, no matter how much space we have or whatever, that will still stand out. So he thought of the ice cream, I thought of the neon, brought it together. And shout out to Shannon. I don't even know where Shannon is in the world right now, but and I don't know her last name either. But
Dukes?
Don't know. I have no idea who her last name is. But Shannon is
a collaborator. Like my collaborator?
No, she's a girl that I know who I rocked with for a short period of time. But she created the logo.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But we don't know where
Gotcha.
I don't know where she is. I don't know her last name, but I want to give her a shout out because the logo's on the tees now. So
yeah. Great.
Yeah. Shannon, wherever you are, however your life is going, thank you for this beautiful, beautiful logo. Again, if you've made it all the way to the end of this podcast, get your life together and subscribe. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts. This is the In the Cut podcast. Again, we challenge our guests to finish talking about ice cream before the end of the conversation. Now, Jem, how are we with the ice cream? Where are we at?
So, DBH, it's like soup now.
Yeah, that happens.
So, like, it was really good.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, there's only about this much left that is
ice cream.
It's mostly soup.
Okay.
It was delicious.
So soup with chunks in it?
Yeah. Chunky
soup? Chunky soup. I don't know why you had to turn on your sex appeal for that, but sell that chunky soup. Oh my goodness. And follow us on Instagram at The Cool Table Live, on YouTube at The Cool Table Live. The radio show is every Wednesday at 11 a.m. That's CJRU 12, 8 a.m. in Toronto. And of course, until next time, know yourself, know your worth.